Hello, everybody, and welcome back to another great edition of my Grue Show. And for the Grue Show today, I got an awesome guest. He is an actor, and his name is Mason Beauchamp. If I said your name wrong, I apologize. I'll have you say it when you come on. We're going to talk to him all about his acting life, and he's been in so many different films, and a horror film that I really like was called Black as Night, and we're going to talk to him about the horror film and Eat Brains Love and a whole bunch of other stuff. Join me as we welcome Mason, so stay tuned. All right, buddy. Welcome to Grue, and thank you so much for taking time and coming on. I appreciate it.
Appreciate you for having me. Thank you.
Definitely, man. Definitely. So the first thing I want to start out asking you is typical question is what drew you to want to act? Like, when did your passion start for it?
I would say probably started in my mid-teens. It didn't really materialize until like I was 20 or so. I was just
Okay.
doing construction, working a job I really did not like to do, and I wound up working out of town for a handful of months, and all I really had to do during my free time was watch TV. So I just kind of got tired of looking at the same people that I found to be really inspiring up there, looking like they were having a bunch of fun. Kind of wanted to get in on it. So
Hey,
yeah,
that's the perfect way to do it. Saying, if, if they could do it, why can't I? Look how much fun they're having.
precisely. Why not me? So yeah, definitely,
There you go.
definitely.
Nice, nice. And what was like the first role you ever had once you start booking gigs?
My first role, I was playing a naval officer that was a race car driver for NCIS New Orleans. That was my first gig.
Oh, that's
Um,
awesome.
yeah, I say NCIS is definitely kind of like the rite of passage gig down here for sure. It's a lot of me and a lot of my homies' first gig. So, but no, it was great though. They treated me really well. Um, to say it's a show with such tenure and like a really established fan base, everybody on that set was incredibly gracious to have me there and kind of they had an understanding of what kind of moment it was for me too, so I really appreciated that. It was just easy to go to work, you know
Nice.
easy to not be like, oh my god, I'm on a set for the first time and people aren't treating you like, oh my god, you're some sort of, it's your first time. We got a call and it wasn't anything like that. It was just, this is the game, these are the instructions, you know what you're doing.
Oh yeah. And
Yeah.
and 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 like you were saying, to be on a show as huge as that, like the NCIS has to be one of the longest shows on television, and it's everywhere. Like I mean, every city you
True.
could think of has like a TV series on that.
Yeah, definitely. You're not wrong. So yeah, to be a part of that, even that little piece of history that's really cool. It just, I don't know, it was definitely, when I started, I kind of went in with a game plan that I like wanted to want to take this as far as it can go. So it was definitely a moment of like, I was like, oh, this is really cool. Like this is, kind of what we showed up to do, but this is definitely also like I had to kind of pinch myself for a second. So mhm.
Oh yeah, I'm sure.
Yeah, absolutely.
And
So
another film I saw you did, it looked like a pretty fun film. It's a comedy horror film. The Eat Brains Love, you play Johnny. And
mhm.
how was the experience like filming that and being on set and stuff?
That was fun, man. I wound up working with a lot of folks who I wound up still being friends with to this day. A couple of folks who we didn't really realize, but we had kind of grown up around the corner from each other. There were a lot of other
Oh
Baton
wow.
Rouge-based actors in that job as well too. So that part was cool, but it was fun. It was like being in high school. It's truly how it felt like. I don't know. There's something about the fluorescent lights and like smelling lockers and stuff that you don't ever really forget. So I would say it was just a lot of fun. Made some really good friends on that set. Spent a lot of downtime in between scenes playing Doom in our trailers, but that's neither here nor
Oh
there.
yeah,
Yeah,
nice.
There's no better way to bond than over his winning or losing at Doom. I don't think so. Yeah, but it was a good time though. Seriously, it was a good time. We got to work with Robin Flunder, who was just really helpful as far as explaining what the idea was, what the vision was, kind of what he was looking for. It was definitely kind of that MTV horror, that mid
Yeah.
'90s, that early
Oh yeah.
2000s horror, and yeah. So it was a lot of fun in that regard.
Nice, nice. And then
Yeah,
you go from comedy horror to Christmas films, and I see you.
yeah.
I see you did like a couple different Christmas films, holiday
hmm
films, and how's those films are usually shot in like little small towns in Canada. Were they shot in Canada like the Christmas films you did? Oh no.
Mm-mm. Everything was shot in New Orleans or Baton Rouge. Everything was based in Louisiana, which like there were definitely times where I wish it was based in Canada because it would have been so hot. Because like with a Christmas movie, generally speaking, like you have to shoot that in July, August, or September, or you can't get it out in time. So I will say wearing sweaters with 98% humidity and 98 degrees outside. I've had It's definitely like a rite of passage, you know. But no, everything was shot here in Louisiana. Everything was shot here in Louisiana. I know that it's you can't really tell, but everything was shot here.
Oh, that's
So,
awesome. And
mhm.
when they're shooting like you said, when it's blistering hot out and you have to act like it's freezing cold out during Christmas season, like do they at least make it feel like Christmas, like with the fake snow and everything like that?
Oh, yeah, depending on the film, for sure. All of those projects were kind of based a little bit more towards like kind of middle America or out west or in the South. So that part of it was one of them in particular being set in New Orleans. Definitely, it made it a little bit easier to kind of play up the seasons because in New Orleans it would actually still be hot. But as far
Mhm.
as the one in Baton Rouge went, I mean, they had cold packs on us. We had to drink a lot of water and stay inside and just kind of, remind yourself, hey, like we're as soon as we hear action, it's a different kind of uncomfortable. So that's all.
Yeah.
Like, most of us have been cold before, so it's just a matter of, between action and cut, we got to find it.
Okay,
So,
okay.
hmm
And another horror film you were part of was a really good horror thriller. It's like it's like a little mixture of everything, like horror, thriller, drama. Black as Night, and you play
yeah.
Chris in that horror film. How did you wind up getting to be part of the film?
Um, so it's I don't mean to make it sound run of the mill or boring, but business as usual. Get an audition from my agent. Um, Obviously this was like pre-pandemic, so nobody really knew what was coming next.
Oh,
Um, but I get the tape, and we've been busy during that time period also as far as auditions go. So it's just at first it was another tape, did the tape, threw it away, didn't think about it anymore,
yeah.
and then no more than 3 days later, I get a call back, and I'm staring at an executive producer from Amazon and a director in the same room, and yeah, just went and knocked it out. Was playing 18 or 17 years old is always a little bit of a, I won't say a regression, but just kind of like, okay, I got a day at work that I've probably done before, experienced before, so that definitely made me feel really comfortable. But just knowing that um I've worked with Ryan Glorioso, the casting director for that project. Like he and I have been in and out of the same rooms together for a while. So just knowing that there was that sense of trust and comfort to go do my job just made it really easy. But yeah, no, playing a teenager in New Orleans who's trying to be sweet, trying to, send this girl that he likes red beans, that's about as Louisiana as it gets. So I related for sure.
Nice.
I definitely related. Like, yeah. So,
And
but yeah.
what did what did what did you love when you first when you first reading the script and reading that you're playing this guy named Chris, and it's a vampire horror film, and like uh, what are your thoughts when you're reading that? Are you like, oh cool, a vampire film, or
I was just excited. I knew that there were going to be a lot of moving parts, for sure. The fact that, the first day in the table read, I got to meet Keith David, whose voice I've heard for like decades.
Yeah,
Um,
yeah.
that made it that kind of let me know what the tone was and kind of what we were in for. Like we were going to be able to have fun and that there were going to be some funny elements to it, but that the real kind of the looming danger of it all did come from the horror elements. So it made it easy to find those little pockets where we could be funny, and alongside finding those little pockets where there's real terror, there's real, moments of kind of
Mhm.
conflict and real moments of us trying to, survive. So I don't know. I was just cool. How do we make it real? How do we make it real? That's always kind of my primary focus is how do we make it real? If we make it real, then chances are, it's going to translate on screen. I don't really have
Ah,
we as actors, we only have so much to say about that unless you're on the cutting room floor and you're editing and you're the
yeah,
director
true.
as well. But yeah, it's like, it's okay. It's a vampire. We're teenagers. We're in New Orleans. Like, you never know. Like 1600s, this might actually happen. But no. All jokes aside, it's just about, how do we make it real? How do we make it real? How do we honor the audience? How do we honor the writing? So
Sweet, sweet.
absolutely.
And like, did you go? I don't know if you watch horror films or not, but did you watch like any vampire horror films to get you ready for the role?
Um, Not in particular. I did reread an old George Martin book, the guy that did Game of Thrones, called Fever
Hmm.
Dream. It's just about vampires traveling up and down the Mississippi River in the 1800s. Um, but I mean, the way I imagine it is vampires are probably real people who are in pretty unreal circumstances, and so that's just it's people. At the end of the day, it's people with drastically different circumstances from you and I, but like how do we make that real? How do we respect that? So no, I would say I will not claim to be terribly into the vampire genre, but as soon as I saw like what was happening, where it was going to happen, and kind of what the setup was, I was excited. So
Okay, okay.
yeah, that makes it easy to get ready to go to work.
Yeah, definitely. And
Yeah.
is there a certain scene from Black as Night that you love doing, like, or you had the most fun shooting?
I would say any of our action shots, any of the stunt shots, um, any of the scenes where you see like the entire group of kids together, like the five of us, the main characters, any of those scenes, because like whether it was serious or whether it was something comical, like we were having a blast as soon as cut got called. Um, but yeah, also the action shots. There were just so many moving parts that it became a kind of an orchestrated little dance that once we finished that night, or really 2 nights of shooting and getting all those different shots set up, it was like, oh, like you would think like this is only going to be 3 minutes of on screen time, right?
Yeah.
But that was 2 days of work. And so I just really appreciated what all goes into it. I like doing my own stunts. I got to do my own stunts. So
Nice, nice.
yeah, anything that allows me to like kind of act on the physicality and kind of really get into it, those are things that are always going to be highlights for me.
Oh, sweet. Okay, okay.
Yeah. Hmm.
And a show that you were on quite a bit was Sacrifice. And what
Hmm.
did what did you love most about your time on that show?
That was definitely, it was just a job where I like kind of grew up on the job, which was cool. I was 26 years old. The role breakdown called for like a 32-year-old detective, and I'm sure you can
Mhm.
understand as well. Like as just as people and as dudes, like between 26 and 32, it's a pretty steep gap as far as like what you've experienced and how you
Yeah,
conduct yourself and how you're respected, amongst your peers. So um it was definitely a situation where I had to find my footing like more and more into it. But again, the same thing. There were so many cool action shots and so many like large ensemble shots where we had all of our cast with us, or like most like like large chunks of cast and crew together with us. So I think that was probably the coolest part, just orchestrating stuff that was like, okay, we're outside this building that we have to run into and pretend to bust up a bingo game, and like how is it going to look? watching it go from these are our parts separated to the finished product, I probably would say is like that's the coolest thing to me. But yeah, sacrifice. I had to grow up on the job for sure.
Nice. And
Yeah.
when you're not auditioning for roles and filming, what do you like doing during your free time?
Um, Big into MMA. I do jujitsu. I take Muay Thai classes twice a week.
Oh my
I like
God!
to,
Wow.
yeah, I like to stay active, man. I told you I like doing my own stunts, man. It's
Yeah.
the best way to live. But no, I like to fish. When I have the time, I like to read. Aside from like my kind of more action forward hobbies, like I'm a pretty boring guy. I like to watch movies. I like to sit inside every now and then. If I'm feeling really wild, I might have a glass of wine. But oh man, I just like hanging out, reading books, kind of hanging out with the people close to me, and just getting a chance to, I don't know, see the world, experience the world. That's it. I like good food, and that's about, yeah. I like good food, hanging out with my girlfriend. She just turned me into a cat dad, so there's that.
Okay.
Um, yeah, definitely. I was resistant until I wasn't. So
Nice.
there's that. But
And
yeah, man, like just yeah, I don't know. It's nice living in New Orleans because we're pretty close to a semi-stable film industry. Obviously, I would love
oh
to
yeah.
see it more full-time stable, but yeah, man, I just like to hang out with my friends. I like to do a little bit of kickboxing and roughhousing
Oh
an
wow.
MMA class. That's really about it.
Okay. Okay.
So
Well, you
yeah,
can.
I coach other actors. So
Oh, you coach too?
hmm yeah, I've been taping other actors' auditions for about 6 years now, almost as long as I've been like acting proper. Like about a year and a half in is when I got
Oh
my
wow.
camera set
Okay.
up and just yeah. One of my teachers, one of my first teachers, Nicole Beret, she was very intent on making sure that all of us could kind of take care of ourselves as actors. At the end of the day, like if I get an audition randomly right now, like I need to find a room in this house to get set up in and get to work, whether I have
Yeah.
help or not. And Nicole made sure to kind of instill that self-reliance in all of us. So as soon as I could get my hands on a camera and a light set, I got busy and I just had to. I learned more from other actors, I think, than I do from my own experience. But that was very much like the biggest part of my learning process was just getting to see other actors, getting to watch high points, getting to watch things that maybe I wouldn't do, and kind of getting to just add things to my own tool bag, but also kind of eliminate things that I think don't really work. They say a smart man can learn from his own mistakes, but wise men learn from other people's mistakes. And it has definitely afforded me the opportunity to do a little bit of all of that. So
Sweet.
yeah, I get
Sweet.
up to a little bit of nothing and a little bit of something when I'm not acting. Yeah, a little bit of
And
something, a little bit of
did
nothing.
you you said like you do like a lot of martial arts, kickboxing, the mixed martial arts. Like did you ever compete too, or is it just like learning it just to stay fit and for film?
Just to stay fit. I mean, I'm passionate about it, like definitely from a fan point of view for sure. But I will say like I would compete in an amateur setting. I won't ever try to compete professionally. Um, I would have to I would have to commit to it the same way I've committed to acting, and well, there's only one life. And I'm also
Yeah,
already 30.
true.
So
True, you're
yeah,
right.
if I was gonna fight, I would have had to do it like maybe 5 or 6 years ago. I think I would have been in good shape now. But once you hit that 30 mark, man, those injuries do not heal the same. It's not as fast. It's not as automatic as it used to be. So
Yeah, yeah, true. And you are in like really great shape. Like
appreciate it.
besides the sports and the MMA, like what else? What else do you do to keep your body in shape?
Um, I just run, try to eat right. That's the main thing. Just kind of trying to manage the diet. I feel like if you manage your diet properly, there's a lot of things that you can get away with, whether it be activity or inactivity.
Yeah,
So I'd say it's like, yeah, mostly just diet, trying to stay disciplined with that, making sure even if whether it be like an injury related to class or if there's something that's kind of keeping me away from staying active in the way I like to, just making sure I'm on top of running, doing at home workouts. Like, um, I don't know. I used to think I would be bored to tears doing it, but like I can spend an entire half hour shadow boxing around my apartment now. I have like a perfect little kind of kickboxing area set up for it. So it just
Oh wow.
depends. Mm-hmm. Yep. Had to get
Nice,
some mats
nice.
put down in the floor.
Oh,
Yeah.
sweet.
But the good thing is the mats on the floor deaden the sound in that room. So it also doubles as an audition space. So like I
Oh,
just try to make sure that I have everything set up close to me to be able to kind of keep that status quo if I'm not able to keep,
well,
moving
yeah.
forward like I'd like to be. So yeah, I mean,
Okay.
I live near the lakefront. It's a great place to run. Great place to they have levees over there. Great place to run sprints uphill. So yeah, it's just there's a lot of options, but I try to make sure I'm doing something. I
Nice,
can't.
nice.
I have trouble sitting still. So there's
Yeah,
that.
same. Like I hate just sitting still and just like watching television for 7 hours a day. Like that's not healthy.
Right. So yeah, man. Like outside is literally it's right there. I think a lot of we definitely are entering a generation of kids that have kind of been raised on tablets inside. So I think it's important
Yeah, I
like that
know.
we stay outside. They need to know that it's okay. Go,
Yeah,
we gotta. It's. I mean, hey, look, we just came out of a pandemic, so I'm not mad at anybody that wants to sit and watch television for 8 hours a day. But at the same time, what does the old adage say? Like, touching some grass doesn't hurt every now and then. That's what, yeah. Even
great.
every now and then, if I was hurt from class, like I might go. I got to go take a walk. I need to go
Oh
be
yeah,
outside. I need to hear. You got to hear the birds and whatnot. But yeah,
definitely.
man, definitely. Just trying to keep moving, stay active, stay learning, stay growing. That's really it. Stay learning,
Yeah,
stay learning.
no, definitely. 100% agree. Yes.
Hmm.
And what
Yeah,
about
yeah.
songs and stuff? What kind of music do you like listening to?
Oh, gosh. That's we might have to do a second interview. No, man, I listen to like probably a little bit of everything. Not like to sound cliche about it, but I'll say right now I was very heavily invested in the Kendrick Lamar and Drake beef. So I love rap music.
Hmm.
I love hip hop in all forms and facets almost. Um, Growing up in Louisiana and Baton Rouge, like I was definitely exposed to a lot of country and like pop country and folk country growing up. So I would say,
Oh yeah, yeah, okay.
yeah, big fan of Johnny Cash. Love Willie Nelson. Shabuzi, who's gaining a lot of popularity and traction right now. Big fan of his too. Uh, um, but yeah, man, just a little bit of everything. Like I like Metallica. I love Chevelle. I love Linkin Park. Kendrick Lamar, Drake. It doesn't. It like I listen to JID, Kenny Mason, all of it, any of it. I will say I'm a consumer of music.
Oh
So
yeah, that it definitely sounds like it.
definitely, I appreciate it. Yeah, I mean, I don't know. It keeps the brain young, at least to me. Like I feel like even whenever people are a lot of people like communication is definitely not like a perfected art amongst people, but I feel like music and even films and art, those things, poems, those things kind of cut across in a way that maybe we don't necessarily have the time in our day to day to always sit down and get to the root of. So at least that's my opinion about art, but I'm an artist, so I might be biased.
Yeah. And if you were gonna do a karaoke song, what do you think you would sing?
um if I were to do one today, I would probably do East of the Massanutten by Shabuzi.
All right, okay, nice.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. He's from the Virginia area, and I mean, I the whole idea of the album is him kind of having to like an old cowboy and a renegade, like having to travel west to seek out his fortune, which he literally has had to do in the music industry. So I just think it's a really cool song about kind of having to leave home to do what you need to do, which I think a
Yeah.
lot of us as artists can definitely relate to.
Oh yeah, for sure, for sure.
Yeah, and like who doesn't want to
And
be a cowboy? You don't want to be an outlaw.
Yeah, right, exactly.
You know what I mean? But yeah, definitely
And are you more of a coffee or tea person?
coffee. Coffee. Tea if I'm like if it's a workout day or if I haven't been to the gym yet, then tea. But like if I don't have anything going on that day, it's coffee. It's coffee. It could be coffee at 10 o'clock at night, to be honest with you. No, man, I was a barista for almost like 2 years, so people
Oh,
don't know that about me.
sweet.
I can drink espresso at nighttime and go to sleep. It's weird.
Okay.
Yeah, like I'm telling you, man, you're closing down like a coffee bar at like 10 o'clock at night. Like a shot of espresso is life altering.
Oh,
That will get
really?
you through your business.
All right. You know what? I think I'm gonna have to
Absolutely.
try that when it reaches 10. I'm gonna look for an espresso or coffee or whatever and drink it.
Just if you have something to do late at night, just see how it treats you.
Okay. Okay.
See
All
how it
right. You
treats
know
you.
what? I'm actually gonna try that.
I mean, now if you lose sleep, I will claim no responsibility for that. But I digress. But yeah, no, man. Yeah, definitely coffee. Like, I don't know. I'm not one of those cliche people who's like, don't talk to me before I have my coffee. But like, I
I
would
know.
prefer
I
people.
know.
I would,
Yes.
I would prefer if people didn't talk to me before I. Nah, there's a. I mean, obviously, it's caffeine in your bloodstream, so like, there's a difference. But no, I would prefer coffee though. I would say that there is a lot more. I have a lot more interest in different kinds of tea though. Coffee, I'm pretty like I need it like one type of way, cream
Yeah.
and sugar and medium roast, and leave me be until I'm done with my first cup. And after that, yeah. But yeah, no, it just depends. It depends on the day of the week, depends on what's going on. But if I had a preference, definitely
Okay. Okay.
coffee.
Sweet.
Yeah. An Americano also. I love Americanos. Like if I can get
Oh,
espresso
I've
with,
had that. Yes, that's really good.
you know. hmm But yeah, what about you? You drink? Are you a coffee or tea guy?
More, I mean, I drink both, but I'm more coffee guy than tea guy, and
I got you.
I love uh cap cappuccino. Oh my god, I love
Mm.
those things. I'm
Okay,
like
yeah.
hooked on them.
Mm. Cappuccinos are dangerous for sure.
They are.
Like,
They
like the
are.
perfect amount of everything that I would want in a cup of coffee, just done
Yeah.
differently. And with the foam, the foam,
Yes. Yes. Exactly.
good foam will send it over the top. I can only say this as a barista, but good foam is a lost art, man. Good
I
foam is a
know. No,
lost art,
you're
depending on where
absolutely
you
right.
go. Like dedicated coffee shops do get it right, but there's a lot of people that eat a cappuccino. I'm like, man, this is a latte, but I'm not going to argue with you about this morning because I want coffee.
Yeah.
But yeah, definitely, I agree. Coffee if I can have it.
Oh my god. Yeah. Like the first time I ever had a cappuccino, I was like, "Oh my god, what have I been missing on?"
Yeah, man, it'll spoil you for sure.
Yeah,
Like I don't know, after like my first couple of self-made lattes and cappuccinos, I was like, cool. I don't really know how I can go back to drinking normal coffee after
I
this, but
know,
I
right? Exactly.
until you work behind a coffee bar, and then you will very much go back to drinking regular coffee, or you won't, or you won't. I don't know. I went through a phase. I had like very specific drinks, and then after that, I was like, I just want coffee, and I don't want to taste sugar in it. So it comes and goes.
All right. Okay. Okay.
It comes and goes. Life is all phases, man. Life is all phases. So that was a barista phase of mine.
Nice. Nice.
hmm Yeah, man.
And and do you have anything coming up, like and anything you want to plug? Shows, TV, anything else you're working on?
As of right now, nope. Just been in the lab writing and auditioning. If you're staying at a Marriott Bonvoy, you will likely see me in my face and with some friends like running around there over the next couple of years. But nah, man. Other than that, just auditioning. If you haven't checked out season 2, episode 6 of Your Honor, please. I'm very proud of that one. Yeah, that's probably the most recent thing I did. And other than that, man, just been auditioning, getting better, taking classes. That's it. Yeah,
Awesome,
man.
bud.
Just staying hungry for the next one.
Oh
That's
yeah,
really it. I'll be ready whenever they call my
definitely.
number. But yeah, man. Other than that, nah, man. I've just been chilling, doing some kickboxing, sitting at the house reading books, and yeah, hanging out, enjoying my summer.
Nice, nice.
Yes, sir.
And where could fans follow you at if they want to keep up
All right.
with everything?
Yeah, no worries. I am Mason Beauchamp on all of my social media handles. The only difference is on Twitter, I have one underscore, and then on Instagram, I have two underscores between my first and last name. So Mason Beauchamp, straight up as is. My profile is like not one of those weird on private profiles. Like I don't bite. I can't guarantee that I always answer my messages, but like I'd be chilling. If you want to get to know a little bit more of what's inside of my brain, go follow me.
Nice.
So, but yeah, man. Mm-hmm. I will say I am not a frequent flyer on Twitter though. So if you're looking to hear me speaking to the void on Twitter, you might be out of luck there. But Instagram, happy to talking to the void.
Okay, okay. Well,
Yes,
thank
sir.
thank you so much for coming on and doing this. I know wasn't what you were you didn't have it planned, but thank you so much for coming on and doing it anyway. So I
No,
appreciate it.
no. Thank you for having me, Rocco. Yeah, like whenever Annette and I talked about it, I was just like, we just need to try and get a date lined up. But yeah, my work schedule is a little unforgiving lately. But yeah,
Oh,
we'll
I know
forgive
that
it.
feeling.
We'll forgive him today.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah,
Or,
but no, man, I appreciate you.
definitely, bud. Well, we'll have a really great day and weekend, man.
All right, you do the same, Rocco. I appreciate you, brother.
That, thank you.
Thank you, man.
Bye.